We're back at it again, episode 2 of NBH News. Yeah, I'm sorry for laughing before me show anything, but I'm so happy how nithathe first episode yokuqala. You guys really loved it. And I benga-expectile yazi ukuthi kuzoba njeyana. The time ngize ngilivule page, I didn't even expect ukuthi kuzodlula a couple of weeks before I hit the 100 follower mark. But hey, kwathi nje 1 week, wow, 100 followers. 1 week after dropping episode 1, boom, 1,000 views. It is crazy. It is still going up. Ngiyabonga. And before I go on to talking about the next episode, I would like to say sorry to Uvinus Reps for mispronouncing the name of your project. I know how awful and how disgusting it is to hear umuntu esho wrong into that you have put so much effort into doing, because ngiyazi ukuthi go as an artist, it means a lot and it has a deeper meaning lento buyenza. And just hearing someone butcher the name of your project is like, why didn't you do your research before? Just do the thingy before. So to whoever is still watching Obuego episode 1, the name of the project isn't Hair, it's Air. Which is like, why you faka the H, mlungu? Why you faka the H? If it's uzongitshela ukuthi when I inherit kumele ngimusho lo H, but when it's just air akumele ngimusho, then why have it? Why couldn't it just be EIR? It wouldn't make sense, God. Hey. So we're back with episode 2. What are we talking about today? As I promised, go episode 1. This one would be about O34 Network Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to O34 Network, reporting live from Lelo Studios.
So, O34 Network Podcast, I want to talk a little bit ngayo because it does so much for O34 as a whole. Not only that, but I feel like the reason why you're watching this is because I gain inspiration from your O34 Network Podcast, because I didn't really think when you're someone from Newcastle, you can actually put out a content kanje bese kuba khona abantu abayibukayo, yabo. So I had the idea for months on end, but pursue just like how the guys did. Shaky, it felt shaky. I was like, I'm a music guy, so why would I follow into ekanjalo? But then I looked at it, I was like, hey bo, Usondiya, nayo Kratoz are actually music guys. Well, Kratoz is actually deeper than that. Angazi for Usondiya, but yena, he's a music producer. I've never met him personally, but Upudwami, Usos, shout out to Sauce. Now Usos has been in the studio. Nayo Kratoz, they've worked on a project that Usos released called I'm One. So I looked at Lendo Leababeyenza. I've been watching it for a long time actually. If I was called, I would have been like, what am I gonna talk about? Because I've just been recording and releasing. I've only performed like twice, which is sad. Which is very sad. But yeah, I think it's gonna go better from now on, since I have Lendo Lena and Nami. You can actually do something even though uhlala endaweni whereby abantu don't want to support each other, because even though we don't want to support each other, khona abantu that we do actually want to support. So me actually pursuing it is like, I owe props to a lot of people, njengabo, the guys, and I feel like they really do deserve the episode that I'm doing ngabo manje. So with that being said, yini O34 Network Podcast to laba abangazi. So if you don't know what O34 Network Podcast is, not even one of the most viewed and most followed podcast in Osizweni, in Newcastle in general, because I've been on social media scrolling around, babuka bachita, nabanye banama podcast, and I'm like, okay, you're doing your thing, bro. You're doing your thing. But I feel like for your O34 Network Podcast, the reason why you're not if you are gangaga, and the reason why it's supported gangaga isn't just because they bring on ama artist, but it's the dedication to Bona. Because it wasn't just them, it was Kabatainment MUSIC GROUP that teamed up with Lelo Studios. And if you don't know Lelo Studios is, you should go check it out. They teamed up and they actually started this thing in like 2023, if I'm not mistaken. So when they started it, it blew up. It was like crazy stuff. Abantu, they were talking about it. Bengithi nami mangihleli nabangani bami, even with Usos, we would just have a conversation. I would just be like, okay, so Bona, what they were doing was actually very special because they were calling artists that were actually moving, that had motion, right? People like Visha, people like Venom Raps, and it focuses on a lot more things than just talking about artist or talking now artist, because they actually dive deeper into like more personal opinions and personal struggles that they faced in le niche le abakuyo. Bona, it's not just like about artist. They bring on abantu abanama businesses, abantu abaqala shows, people who can host shows and people show up because they now are starting to make shows abo, and they get tickets and the tickets get sold out, which is crazy because I look at it and I'm like, hi Bufethu. Why are people in Newcastle so disconnected from into abakwazi ukuyenza? Ekubeni if bayakwazi ukusikhombisa ukuthi thina yazi masingenza something, it can actually become big, and it can become so big to the point that it can influence abanye abantu like myself. I got influenced. With that being said, why kunebhola grounding but abantu don't really want to keep their eyes on the ball? Yeah, but it got me thinking. I was like, why does that happen? So ngababuka abachitha, I really watched episode abo one after the other, because right now they're going on 3 seasons. So they went through season 1, it was fire, and back then babishaya episode, and those episodes would actually be hours long, which you're gonna be like, what am I gonna do with an hour-long episode? You know, kuhlala nabangani bakho niphuze utshwala for 6 hours. So yeah, you do have a lot of time on your hands. So why don't you use the time that you have on your hands to actually support abantu? Because you don't know, maybe ungabona something laphayana resonate nayo, usho ukuthi yazi, I see myself in this artist or this person, this businesswoman, this businessman, this show organizer. Yabo, masubonile lokho, then you can actually go on social media ubuke yena ukuthi how do they move, how do I use into yena sebeyenzile ngithathe and incorporate it into what I am doing. Omathwala bafika on the show, kwafika uKwanele Marsha Ndlovu, who is an author, wafika wapresenta into yakhe to show abantu ukuthi lento lena isn't just limiting ngoba ukulendawo okuyo. You can actually make it something even though you're from a place that doesn't seem to have that much hope. Yabo, going on seasons belokhu nje bekhuluma something that is revolving around yona Newcastle. So that means a lot to everyone. And then you're gonna look at it and you're gonna see Ultra4 and you're gonna be like, uyadlula. You never know. Maybe you were gonna come up with something now ebizokusiza, right? So therefore, the Ultra4 Network podcast can do more than local, because they're gonna branch out at some point. Masebe bakhulu kangako. They can branch out ngoba sebeshaya nama shows. Ufike nawe as a person, mhlawumbe let's say ushaya i-brand yeyikipa. So uyafika nento yakho, ufika advertise i-brand yakho yeyikipa or yama hats. It doesn't matter, but leyo nto unga-incorporate into your style just by looking at leyana. Khona into ongayigaina, not only ukuthi wena mawuhleli laphana ubuka the Ultra4 Network podcast, you are supporting them. No, in return, they give you something, like whether it's a hope, whether it's entertainment, whether it's passing the time. Njengoba usho ukuthi kanje, I don't have that much time on my hands, but you're sitting there. Why? Ngoba gcina senisho izinto la ezikanje dog, njengoba nawe a person who makes music for this generation that you came up with. Mina ngibambe inkunzi, so ngi gangster le generation, like what the post is that? What the post? And some guy actually said that to me, and I was like, what? Ayikho umuntu okwazalwe efumbethe ukuganga nokuhlupha abantu. Like what? No, it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that, because at the end of the day, when into oyenzayo, yonke into oyenzayo, no matter how small you think it may be, izofika empilweni yomunye umuntu and leave an imprint on that person's life. So therefore, mawuthi wena ufuna ukuyibheka kahle, it's okay, mina, this is where I'm at and that's where I'm trying to get at. So I would just tell you, start by supporting my shows anjengo O34 Network Podcast. Uzobona ukuthi wena uhleli nabantu abangakwazi ukuyenza lento le. So ngokuthi uyababona labantu, mhlawumbe ungabona umuntu omaziyo, you're like, oh, look, ngangaphambana naye. So next time uphambana naye, you just stop them and be like, yo, ngakubona kule episode ye O34 Network Podcast and you were talking about local na local. I want to know how did it come about ukuthi uzufike kule point ufike kuyo, because nami I'm here and I'm trying to get to your level. For the fact ukuthi umuntu ongahlangana naye, or for the fact ukuthi umuntu omaziyo, for the fact ukuthi umuntu oyifriend naye la ku Facebook, it just goes to show ukuthi there are people who do something that they can affect you, and not only you, but actually get you closer to your dream. I'm gonna say, boy, so yeah, I feel like talking about lento lena, it really brings something to amehla abantu by showing you something eyenziwayo around when ukuthi no, you don't have to phuza utshwala every weekend, because leo weekend le you can actually use it. Ngoba nayi idea, ngiyazi ukuthi nayi idea, you can use leo weekend le ukuthi okay, let me focus on this idea, let me try look, and don't think ukuthi must try look, it's just gonna work like that. So you don't have to just limit yourself. So with that being said, go watch O34 Network Podcast. This is it for our episode 2 NBH news. And this woman doing a Kumalo, Blake Marco, I'm outie.
Don't come to my city unless you go, Ted. Don't come to my city unless you go, Ted. Don't come to my city unless you go. I'm a bad motherfucker, that's what all the OP